And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Today's satellite imagery showing here low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, another system dropping out of the Russian Far East, and a weak system here along the west coast. A lot of kind of looks like loose and disorganized cloudiness producing areas of light snow through here, and pretty gusty winds, gusting up to about 30 miles an hour to the west at Nome, with some light snow up to the northwest coast, and clouds here along the Arctic coast with some areas of light snow or flurries there. And then low pressure here pushing showers up to the North Gulf Coast and down across the Panhandle, starting to dry out over the southern areas today. And rolling this through again, you can see this low kind of creeping northwestward, but actually becoming nearly stationary in the Gulf of Alaska here. That's spreading a band of moisture westward, mostly in the form of clouds, maybe some light rain or snow, depending on which side of the Portage Pass you're on, but nothing heavy as of yet. And going to the analysis today, had another trough here, again a low pulling back to the west, so the winds and rain not as heavy over the southeast coast as it was yesterday. With Haines picking up in the 12-hour period ending at 3 p.m., they had about 2/3 of an inch of rainfall, while Sitka had about the same amount, a little over half an inch actually there over at Sitka on the central coast. And Cake picked up 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, with a little bit lighter amounts down to the south. Otherwise, generally cloudy skies, some breaks in the overcast, though, for Cook Inlet here. Increasing northwest winds on the backside of this system, especially for Kamishak Bay and Kodiak Island. Kodiak State Airport saw a peak wind gust of 46 miles an hour out of the west-northwest today, and that kind of blew the snow you had this morning out of the area there. Some light snow showers still along the Alaska Peninsula, but winds lighter, high pressure, narrow ridge right through here ahead of this weak trough, bringing some light snow into the west coast. And then the next system out here we're watching, tracking slowly eastward, or actually that system, there's a winter weather advisory out for tonight and through Thursday afternoon, through 3 p.m. Thursday afternoon, winter weather advisory St. Lawrence Island and the Bering Strait coast here. And that's for 3 to 5 inches of snow to fall during that time period. But with winds out of the north expected to gust to 55 miles an hour, that'll create low visibilities and blowing snow. And now going to tonight, here's that low. That won't kick in actually tonight. Still west-southwest on the winds there, but there will be snow falling. Light snow pushes in with this front. Another front back here developing, and also this low in the Gulf, starting to spread more moisture and look for a chance of snow pushing into northern Cook Inlet from maybe Kenai, Soldotna northward, all the way up, and especially heavier snow in the Matanuska Valley than there will be in the Susitna Valley. But even the Matanuska Valley don't expect to see that much, but that'll extend all the way up to the Alaska Range, and it stays rain or snow for the North Gulf Coast, mostly from Cordova westward. That'll be in the form of snow, and a mixture of rain or just plain rain over toward Yakutat. In the Panhandle, we'll still see some periods of light rain or snow there. Dry right through the central interior or west central interior with light wind conditions, and still a few flurries possible up over the eastern north slope on out to the Arctic coast. And then this weak trailing edge, the southern part of this front, really not all that active. Maybe some rain and snow into the Pribilof Islands with winds out of the west-southwest, 25 miles an hour there. Virtually no effect from this front over the Aleutians. And then for tomorrow, as you can see, right through here, a new cold front developing. And there we go, pushes onto the, in toward Norton Sound from the Bering Strait, low pressure tracks there. And so gusty winds and snow ahead of the front. And now the winds will become northerly behind that front. Otherwise, still a chance of snow, northern Cook Inlet down to the Resurrection Bay area, Copper River Basin, Prince William Sound, and the North Gulf Coast. Showers of rain or snow over the southeast coast, with this low slowly weakening in the Gulf of Alaska. High pressure, mixture of light winds and dry conditions for the Tanana Valley, and just all the way up to the Arctic coast and North Slope as well. And still this front doesn't have much effect on the Aleutians. Maybe some light snow showers getting into the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula with some westerly flow there. Then on Thursday, more of a northwest flow will push colder air and a better chance for snow showers down into the Alaska Peninsula and eastern Aleutians. This low sliding into Norton Sound. Periods of snow here, gusty north winds, again 55 miles an hour for St. Lawrence Island once that low center gets by, and then that'll create the blowing snow conditions there. Narrow band of light snow here with remnants of that front here in across from the lower Yukon River Valley, actually from the Kobuk Valley down across the northern Kuskokwim Valley into Cook Inlet. Periods of snow for south central Alaska, especially with this low center tracking northward toward the southern Kenai Peninsula. Should pick up several inches of snow across most areas of south central Alaska, maybe a little lighter up the Susitna Valley. Just isolated snow showers possible for the eastern interior areas, generally dry, as you can see, with continued light wind conditions. Rain and snow showers over the Panhandle, but winds there will stay light. And for the lows tonight, 30s to lower 40s for the southeast coast. And you can see the Alaska Range here showing up quite vividly on this graphic. South of the Alaska Range, temperatures well above zero. To the west and north, below zero, all the way up to the eastern Arctic coast, and then warming back into the teens and eventually into the 20s out over the Bering Sea, lower 30s for the Aleutians. And Alaska Peninsula, upper 20s to lower 30s, and then dramatically colder there for Bristol Bay, down to 5 to 10 for the lows. And then highs tomorrow, upper 20s for Bristol Bay, 35 to 40 for the Alaska Peninsula, otherwise lower 40s for the Aleutians, mid-30s for the Pribilofs, and 5 below to 5 above for your highs in the interior north of the Alaska Range, south of the mountains, teens for the Copper River Basin, 20s, south central Alaska, mid-30s Kodiak Island, in the 40s again for the Panhandle. And for lows, Thursday morning, above freezing everywhere for the southeast coast, mid to upper 30s. In other words, lower teens for the Copper River Basin, 15 to 25, south central Alaska, but again, north of and west of the mountains here, below zero, but not all that far below. And the central eastern Arctic coast, 0 to 10 below, right around zero for the west side, teens here to the west coast, mid-20s for the Pribilofs. Followed by highs staying below zero, or staying below freezing here for St. Paul and St. George. Lower 20s, St. Lawrence Island, and 5 below to 5 above there for the mid and upper Tanana Valley, actually to Tanana. Low below zero for the Yukon Flats. Bettles should have a high of about 2 below, and about 0 to 10 for the Arctic coast, upper 30s, lower 40s for the southeast coast.